Guns are a great debate in the United States today. According to WAGC.com, or Women Against Gun Control, it said that Dr. Kleck, a criminologist at Florida State University, recently conducted a survey on how many times people have used guns to defend themselves in the past year. This survey was done on 4,978 households in the U.S. alone, not including Alaska or Hawaii. The results concluded that the civilians living in these households, and also projected throughout the rest of the United States, that people would use their guns 2.5 million times in the past year to defend themselves against criminals. It is also projected that around 1.9 million of these times would be used with handguns. We have been given the Second Amendment to protect us from encounters like this with criminals, just as the people in the survey had done. In case you don't know what the Second Amendment is, I'll tell you. The Second Amendment is one of the many amendments in the United States Constitution. It is also the most threatened amendment in that Constitution. The Second Amendment specifically states that a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. The people who wrote that down are the exact same people who founded this nation and want what is best for the people. They didn't go golfing every weekend or go on elaborate vacations. They stayed in the U.S. and worked for the people and with the people. Now, using information from gunsite.com and gunowners.org, it is said that the national government is currently trying to take away this right that has been given to us. Not all the government knows about it, though. The Obama administration signed a treaty to control guns back in September of 2013, but it has not been ratified by the Senate. If the president really wanted to get rid of guns, he could use executive orders to skip Congress and the courts, which is scary and aggravating. But luckily, gun owners can rightfully argue that the UN, the president, or Congress have no authority to impose these gun restrictions. People need their gun rights so that they can protect themselves against criminals and also protect their families. There are many stories out there of people using guns for protection. But this one from Teresa I got off of WAGC.org really stuck with me. She was leaving work late. It was dark and the parking lot was empty. The office building she was in was off the main streets, which had all the traffic. The building was surrounded by woods, and the other office building in her area was empty. No one would see her leaving except the man hiding in the shadows, waiting for her. She had her gun purse, in which she carried her Colt Mustang Plus 2 380. As she walked towards her car, she heard a man say, "Hey baby, looking good." She couldn't see him, so she just kept on walking. She heard footsteps, and then he said, "Where are you going? You're not afraid, are you?" She could tell that he was closer from the sound of his feet and the sound of his voice. She reached the side of her car, which put the car between them, and turned to face him. He had a knife in his hand, which shone in the dark so that she could see it clearly. He said, "Give it up easy, and I won't cut you too bad." So she pulled out her gun and pointed it at him. He immediately put his knife away, and he backed up, put his hands in the air. Without saying a word, he turned and ran. Without her concealed gun, Teresa would have died that night, and the police probably would have never found out who did it. The man had on gloves, so it was obvious to her that he was planning an attack. Guns not only save lives, they also provide food. Hunting animals has also become a great debate in the United States today. Hunters not only provide for themselves, they provide for their families and sometimes for the community. Hunters need their guns so they can provide for these people. Hunters also give jobs to people. Thousands upon millions of jobs are out there that involve hunting. The Second Amendment says that the people will forever be allowed to keep and bear arms. Every day, people need the protection of their firearms against criminals, and hunters need the right to bear arms so that they can provide for their families and for other people. I'll leave you with a short story and a quote. I was once asked by a lady visiting if I had a gun. I said I did. She said, "Well, I certainly hope it's not loaded." To which I said, "Of course it is. It can't work without bullets." She then asked, "Are you afraid of someone evil coming in to your house?" My reply was, "No, not at all. I'm not afraid of the house catching on fire either, but I have fire extinguishers around, and they're all loaded too." The quote I have is, "If guns kill people, then pencils misspell words, cars make people drive drunk, and spoons made Rosie O'Donnell fat." Thank you.
Good job.